CSC, State Public Service Commissions, SSC CGL, and CLAT examinations. So do visit AKS IAS Academy, and also you can visit the website of AKS IAS Academy, which is one of the premier institutions in India. And about me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Tumala, and my credentials are: I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And my session, that is today's session, will definitely help you to crack prelims and mains examinations, because I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases which are from the newspaper. So by emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the newspaper, I will make you understand how we can identify the factual, analytical, and also the conceptual questions. So we will identify throughout my lecture. I'll make you get into the mode of identifying the factual, analytical, and also the conceptual questions. So these are the one wherein we will arrive at a conclusion to get into the mode of identifying the factual, analytical, conceptual, which will be very useful for the preliminary examinations. And in regards to the mains answer, that is the keywords and the key phrases, will certainly help you to score higher marks when you get into the mode of imbibing or inculcating the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing. So definitely your answer writing has to be precise and concise. So your answers would be precise and concise only when you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in comparison, or in making sure that you are not writing the answer as an academic, but you are limiting it to the word limit. So thereby your answers, when it is precise and concise, by imbibing the keywords and the key phrases, so certainly you will score high marks even in the mains examination. So therefore my session, that is daily news analysis, will definitely help you to crack both prelims and mains for 2020 as well as 2021. And today's session, that is daily news analysis, that is DNA of the Hindu newspaper, that is today's, that is 8th of August 2020. And my tagline, which goes ahead, that emphasizing or identifying the keywords and the key phrases. So this is very important, and this is my keyword or my tagline, that is keywords and the key phrases should be identified, and this will certainly make you clear prelims and mains and put you into the comfortable mode of in the interview. So definitely this will help you. The emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases will certainly help you. And before I get into the topic, I would say very good morning to all the one who is in the live and also in the live chat. So good morning to Jharsingh Hanu, S. Kadimi Sethi, Rahul, Nitin, Vijaya, Vani, Suvarna, Nandita, Praveen Kumar, David Paul, Madhu, Shravani, Ashwini Kumar, Sohail Arafat, Malvika Sajivan, Shivamurthy, Ravi Kumar, D.V. Prasad Gandham, Sabhavat, Mahesh Naik, Harika Yadav, Madhava Madhapuram, everyone, welcome to AKS IAS Academy, and welcome to Daily News Analysis by Sandeep Bhushan Tumala. And Kola Maheshu has also joined. Very good morning to you, and welcome to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And quote of the day. Quote of the day is: mindset is what separates the best. Mindset is what separates the best from the rest. So yes, I would wish that you would be amongst the best, not amongst the rest. So when you want to be amongst the best, so what is important is your mindset. What is important is your mindset. So this, your mindset, that is how you program your mindset. When I'm saying how you program, that is whether you are always wanting success, whether you're dreaming success is very important. So, are you dreaming success? Is that what you need to program your mind? And that is the mindset. And that mindset will separate you are the best from the rest. So what is very very important is the mindset. So how you program your mind, how you set your mind, that is whether you will succeed or not. So your mind should always say that you will succeed, you will attain success, and that is what your mindset has to be. That is what you all as a civil servant aspirants is very important, that you need to set your mind positive. Your mindset has to be positive, that you are always wanting to be successful. That is, you are always wanting to be successful, and that is very important. That the quote of the day is, mindset is what separates the best from the rest. So please be, make sure that you are having a positive mindset and you are amongst the best, and you have been separate from the entire lot. So this is the quote of the day. And before I get into the topic, very good morning to Sai Kumar also. So the news which in the front page is very disturbing. It's a disaster which we are also experiencing it because of the heavy rainfalls in Kerala, and there are landslides which have taken place in the tea workers quarters in Idukki district of Kerala, and this has landslips or landslides have killed 18% and 52 have been missing, especially in the tea estate. So it is in the Nayamakkad tea estate near Rajmala in Idukki district. So we have seen almost couple of years back, almost the entire Western Ghats, that is the western part of Kerala, all the districts or maximum districts of Kerala were been badly hit by the floods. And now once again we see that Idukki district has been badly hit, and because of the heavy rains, that is because of the incessant rains up in the Idukki district or many parts of the many districts of Kerala, we have seen landslides, and in that the lives of the tea estate people are also lost, and this is really a worrisome process. And this has happened, I mean this landslide has happened in the night, that is 11:30 p.m., and the authorities have got to know about this entire tragic incident of the landslide, and wherein all the houses, that is almost close to 50 houses in the quarters, were totally buried under the debris, that is by the hills that which have been landslide. And this is very difficult to reach because there was no power, there was no network, there was no power, no network in the sense we are talking about the internet or in regards to the telecom network. So as it was not there, so the incident that has happened in the night 11:30 p.m., and by 6 a.m. the authorities got to know, and by that much of the disaster has been taken place. And this the far four, I mean the tea quarters are nearly 3 kilometers away, wherein actually the landslides have taken place, and this is a landlocked valley. Because being the landlocked valley, it is was very difficult, and all of them were trapped in the debris. And it is almost 30 kilometers away from Munnar, and it is adjacent to Eravikulam National Park. So what is the keyword what we will be focusing here is, what is the keyword we will be focusing here is Eravikulam National Park. Yes, no doubt there was landslides in the Rajamalla area, the tea estate Nayamakkad in Idukki district, but we will be focusing on the Eraviculam National Park. Why? Because what is important is we are focusing on the keyword in the news which talks about 18 have been killed in the landslides because of the incessant rains in the Kerala or in the Idukki district especially. But you as a civil servant aspirant have to focus. Okay, Malvika Sajivan says that 53 persons were missing. Yes, absolutely. Because as I said, it has happened, the landslide has happened in the night, 11:30 p.m. And then the officials got to know only in the morning 6 o'clock next day. That is why there is much of disaster which has taken place and loss of lives are there. And because of the area which is not accessible, because it is not accessible, that is why the disaster response team could not really reach there, and then they are trying very hard to make sure that whoever is left out will be brought back to the respective hospitals, and then the one who have been trapped will be picked up from there, from the debris. And this is adjacent, this is what this is the Naymakad estate. Naymakad estate is adjacent to Eraviculam National Park, and this area can be just accessed, that is the tea estate can be accessed through the national park itself, but the national park is closed and the bridge at Perivarai was washed away because of the incessant rains or the flash floods which has taken place in the night which has taken place. So because of that, the disaster management or disaster response team is really having a tough time to reach the spot, and then at that moment, and then make sure that they were picking up the bodies or the one who have been safe to move out of from that place. So here it is adjacent to Eraviculam National Park. So we will be focusing from prelims point of view. So as the tea estate is adjacent to Eraviculam National Park, this is an additional information which I am giving, which is not part of the newspaper, but because of the ecology and environment topic from the prelims point of view, I have focused this. No doubt we are focusing on the flash floods wherein lives have been lost, that is the tea estate or the tea workers, tea employees in the tea quarters, lives have lost. But we will also focus on what UPSC might focus in regards to the flash floods in the Idukki district. So Eraviculam National Park is located in the Western Ghats. So it is in the Western Ghats in the Idukki district. Again, these are all very important for prelims point of view, and it is also known as what it is. Eraviculam National Park is also known as Rajamallai National Park. It is also known as Rajamallai National Park. There could be a question, which among the following national park is also known as Rajamallai National Park? Which among the national parks is also known as Rajamallai National Park? It is Eraviculam National Park is also known as, and this national park has been declared as a wildlife sanctuary in the year 1975. So Eraviculam National Park is been declared as the wildlife sanctuary in the year 1975. These are all very important for prelims point of view. And then it has got the, that is the wildlife sanctuary, that is Eraviculam National Park has attained the status of national park. So initially it was not national park, it was wildlife sanctuary. From wildlife sanctuary it has attained the national park in the year 1978. In the year 1978, that is the national park has been attained to the wildlife sanctuary, that is Eraviculam Wildlife Sanctuary has attained the status of national park in the year 1978. And what is the main motive behind this national park? It is to protect and conserve Nilgiri Thar. So this is to protect the Nilgiri or Nilgiri Thar. So this is an endangered Nilgiri Thar, and it is the other biological name is also Hemitragus hylocereus. Hemitragus hylocereus is the name, and then this is the endangered Nilgiri Thar, and this Ervakulam National Park is very famous for biodiversity. International Union for Conservation of Nature has made it very clear that Nilgiri Thar is the endangered species, that is the Nilgiri Thar, and that is why this is also important. So which among the following is recognized as the endangered species by IUCN in the Ervakulam National Park? It is Nilgiri Thar. It is Nilgiri Thar, the International Union for Conservation of Nature. And this park is also very famous for Neelakurinji. It is also famous for Neelakurinji. What is this? This is a flower. Neelakurinji is a flower. Why is it famous? Because it blossoms or it blooms once in 12 years. Once in 12 years. That is why it is famous. Neelakurinji, it blooms. It blooms. What do you say? It blossoms. It blooms in once in 12 years. That is why it is famous for biodiversity. And this Ervakulam National Park is compared to the mountain ranges of Alps. Alps is in Europe, which covers almost 8 countries, right from France to Slovenia, that is former Yugoslavia. So Alps. So again, all this why I am taking up is from the geography map based also. So from geography and ecology and environment, I have taken this additional information which will be very useful for you in regards to the prelims. No doubt we had the news in regards to the flash floods or the incessant rains. Because of that, the landslides have taken place in Idukki district. But the news there, what we have to catch is that tea estate is adjacent to Ervikulam National Park. So we have to focus on the national park. As a civil servant aspirant, this is what the strategy is. This is what the strategy is that you need to also keep it in mind while you are reading the newspaper. And before I get into the next topic, Gopi Nayak has joined. Very good morning to you, Gopi. And again, I'll reiterate here the keywords. Ervikulam National Park. It is also known as Rajamallai National Park. It is in the Western Ghats in the Idukki district. It has got the wildlife sanctuary. It has been declared as wildlife sanctuary in 1975 and got the status of national park in the year 1978, and total area is 97 kilometers or square kilometers. It is to protect the Nilgiri Thar, which is an endangered species, and it is very rich. The national park is very rich in biodiversity, and it has also a flower which by name called as Neelakurinji, which blossoms once in 12 years. And this national park is compared to the mountain Alps or mountain ranges of Alps in Europe, which almost covers 8 countries from France to Slovenia or former Yugoslavia. So these are very important for prelims point of view. And this is Nilgiri Thar. This animal is Nilgiri Thar. All this are the endangered species. Endangered species. And these flowers are Neelakurinji flowers, which blossoms once in 2 years. So I take up these pictures or images so that it will store or it will totally have an impact in your subconscious mind. It will be stored. So tomorrow when you have a question in the exam, this picture will help you in regards to identifying or making sure that you eliminate another 2 or 3 options in the answer. So it is Nilgiri Thar, which is endangered species, which is also declared by IUCN, and Neelakurinji, is the one which blossoms once in 12 years. And another disaster, another disturbing news once again in Kerala itself. 15 killed as Air India flight skids off the Calicut airport runway. So what is a keyword what we need to look at is Vande Bharat mission. So I might be surprised, sir, when there is a 15 have been killed because of the Air India flight have skid. Why we need to look at, or why we need to focus as a keyword of Vande Bharat? Yes, Vande Bharat mission is a keyword here because the flight, Air India flight, which has skid at the Calicut airport runway and which has fell into the deep gorge in the sense valley around 8 p.m. that is yesterday, and this was actually coming from Dubai to Calicut. So it is a Vande Bharat mission which the Air India flight was carrying the Indians who were stranded in Dubai or Middle East or West Asian countries, and the flight has taken off from Dubai and it was to land at Calicut, that is in India, and thereby this incident has taken place. And the best part is that the flight did not catch fire. The flight did not catch fire, but still 15% as of what you say yesterday's news, that is today's newspaper, yesterday's news latest, probably there will not be much of loss of life. The pilot has and co-pilot have been killed in the skid of the Indian or Air India flight at the Calicut airport, which was on a Vande Bharat mission and it was carrying 189 passengers. And this kind of incident we have seen. I mean, the skid of the flight has we have seen 10 years ago in the Mangalore International Airport also. We have seen the same kid wherein it has skid and also it fell into the gorge or it fell into the valley. And the aircraft, that is the Indian aircraft which was carrying, was the Boeing aircraft. So what is the keyword here? The keyword here is Vande Bharat mission. The keyword here is Vande Bharat mission. So look at the incident is very tragic. But what we will focus here, the keyword is the Vande Bharat mission for the UPSC point of view. So we will focus on Vande Bharat, which is again an additional information I am giving, which is not part of today's newspaper. They have just mentioned about this was part, I mean this flight was part of the Vande Bharat mission. So we will focus on what is Vande Bharat mission. So it is a massive repatriation operation. So it is a massive repatriation operation. Repatriation is, that is the Indians or the Indian diaspora or the Indians who have been stranded in almost 12 countries in the West Asia and in the Middle East countries. India has taken up an operation that is repatriation, that is getting back the Indians from the 12 countries, that is from the Middle East and also in regards to the Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, West Asian countries, Middle East and West Asian countries. So when they were all stranded because of the COVID-19, that is coronavirus. They were all stranded. They were all, been there in Middle East and West Asian countries, wherein the government of those countries wanted them to go back and they did not have any kind of jobs. So it was the government of India which has come up with a mission called as Vande Bharat mission. Yes, pilot and the co-pilot have also died. That is what I have said. At least 15%, including, I said, pilot and co-pilot were killed. Good job. I do not know your name, but very good morning to you and welcome to AKS Academy Daily News Analysis. I've said this. I mentioned that pilot and co-pilot have been killed in the incident. And in regards to coming back to the Vande Bharat mission, the first phase has started on May 7th and 60 non-scheduled commercial flights have operated to bring back almost 15,000 citizens. So it has brought almost 15,000 citizens. But the kind of tragic incident what we have experienced yesterday is very, very regrettable, and then we pray the one who have lost their lives and who have been injured. And this mission has also covered even the Indians who are not only in the Middle East or West Asia but also in the European countries, but also in the European nation or European countries. And this Vande Bharat mission has taken up, has brought all the stranded Indians through the aircrafts and the naval ships. So that is what we were talking about, Air India and through the naval ships. So what is important, what we are discussing is that it has been brought by the aircrafts and the naval ships. And aircraft, because of that, we have seen the incident, what the tragic incident we have seen yesterday. And in regards to the naval ship, also we will look at, so that it will be useful for you in regards to the prelims point of view, which are the naval ships which were part of the Vande Bharat mission. Again, part of it, Setu Samudra. And before I get into the next slide, you, Satyanarayana, Vijay Bharat have joined. Very good morning to you. Welcome to AKSIS Academy. And over 10 lakh Indians have been expatriated or brought back to India. And out of 10 lakhs, another 2 lakhs have been brought from UAE. That means there are Indian diaspora. That means Indians who are working in UAE are only constitutes 2 lakhs. So that means the many Indians who are working in UAE, and thereby when I'm talking about diaspora, again remittances in the sense, again they will get back, whatever they are earning there, that money will come back to India. Remittances India in the form of forex, foreign exchange reserve, forex, or it will be again part of our economy, or it will be part of our GDP also. So if we talk about the 4 naval ships of the Vande Bharat, these are very important: INS Jalashwa, INS Magar, and INS Shardul, and INS Airavat. So these are the 4 ships which are part of the Vande Bharat mission. But what is important is which are the ships which have been taken up from which areas. So if you look at from Maldives, Indians have been brought back to Kochi, that is to India, and the naval ships which have been used is INS Jalashwa and INS Magar from Maldives. Fine. And if you look at from UAE or else from the Middle East or West Asian countries or even from the European Union, if you look at the Indians who have been brought back were from the naval ship, that is INS Shardul and INS Airavat from UAE, that is from there they have brought in. So if you look at, see, from and this Maldives to Kochi, it is 900 kilometers. And these are all very, very important for prelims point of view. Whatever I am saying, it's very important for prelims point of view. From Maldives, INS Jalashwa, INS Magar has been used to bring back the stranded Indians to India. And from Middle East or Middle East or West Asia, INS Shardul and INS Airavat has been used. And from Maldives to India, it is 900 kilometers. And from, if you look at from almost Dubai or UAE, it is 1650 kilometers to Porbandar, that is to Gujarat, till here. So from Dubai to here, Iran also, when I am talking again, Middle East countries. or West Asian countries. All this from Iran, that is Bandar Abbas port. From Bandar Abbas port, they are brought back to Dubai, and from Dubai again to Porbandar port. So this is very important. And INS Shardul and INS Airawat were used from the UAE, from UAE to Porbandar, that is India. Kilometers are 1650 kilometers. These are all very important for prelims point of view. And the Navy, which has been taken up this evacuation effort, is called as Operation Samudra Setu. Operation Samudra Setu. Again, this is a keyword which is very important for prelims point of view, and you can also mention it in your mains examination when we are talking about Indian diaspora. How Indian diaspora, the Indian government has helped or expatriated or evacuated Indians in various countries because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And what is that called as Vande Bharat mission, and the INS or the Navy has named the mission as Operation Samudra Setu, and the ships or naval ships involved were Jalashwa, INS Magar from Maldives, INS Shardul, INS Airawat from UAE, and the kilometers from Maldives to India is 900 kilometers, and from Dubai to in Porbandar is 1650. These are very important for prelims point of view, and I have taken this for your benefit, or for your benefit I have taken, because the only mention in the paper is the flight is part of the Vande Bharat mission, which has been coming from Dubai to Calicut. But what you need to focus, and how I am trying to bring to your notice, that how you need to also get into the mode of understanding the strategy which you need to put in while you are preparing for the UPSC is the keywords. That is what I say. Keywords are important. You need to emphasize the keywords, and that is why I said Vande Bharat mission. So you have got Vande Bharat mission and Operation Setu Samudra. These are all very important. And INS. So all the 4 naval ships. So these are very important for prelims point of view. So look at how my explanation, my strategy is picking up the keywords. That is why I say that is my tagline, that is emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. And thereby I wish you all, as a civil servant aspirant, you need to get into the mode of identifying the keywords from the newspaper. And once you do that, I challenge, I bet that you can clear prelims in the first attempt. And not only prelims, mains, and also you will be very comfortable for the interview also, because you know what are the keywords and the key phrases for prelims and also mains. And Vijay Bharat and Bharat Kalyan have joined. Very good morning to you all, and welcome to AKS IAS Academy. And there is another news which talks about Food Vision 2050 prize for Nandi Foundation. So what is the keyword what we need to focus is Food Vision 2050 prize. This is again exclusively for prelims point of view, current affairs, and little bit again economy also you will get it. So current affairs and for economy also, this information will be very useful. So Rockefeller Foundation. So Rockefeller Foundation has selected which foundation? Again, it is Nandi Foundation. So it has selected Rockefeller Foundation, has selected. Rockefeller is from New York. It's from a New York based Rockefeller. It has selected the Nandi Foundation, which is Hyderabad based non-profit organization. So Rockefeller Foundation has selected the Nandi Foundation for the prize of the Food Vision 2050 prize. So out of the top 10 visionaries, why the Nandi Foundation has been selected as the Food Vision 2050 prize is because of its visionary. of his visionary. So as the top 10 visionaries in the world, it has been selected, and it has been selected for the in the world, and it has been selected as the World Vision 2050 prize, which has been announced by New York on August 7, 2020, and it has got a prize of 2 lakhs US, or 20 or 2 million US pounds, US dollars has been awarded as a prize money. So this is very important that it has got the prize. So this is again important in regards to the current affairs. But what is the other one is that the Nandi Foundation, here it has incorporated, the award is recognized. Why the award is given? Because the Rockefeller Foundation has recognized the model which has been adopted by the Nandi Foundation. The Rockefeller Foundation has recognized the model which has been adopted by the Nandi Foundation, that is called as Arakunomics. So this is again very important for economy point of view. What is the model which has been incorporated by Nandi Foundation? It is Arakunomics, not economics. What economics is that? Araku. Why? Because this model is in the region Araku, Wardha and New Delhi. So this model has been included, or it has been incorporated in Araku area, Wardha and New Delhi on the basis of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H framework. So this is very important. You can take public administration and political science. You can, Mahesh, you can consider the option as public administration or political science. So this is based on the framework, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H framework. So these are again very important for economy point of view for prelims. Economy point of view for prelims. Why? Because this is what model the Nandi Foundation has been awarded for incorporating what models, that is Arakunomics. Arakunomics model, and this Arakunomics model is based on the framework called as ABCDEFGH. So what does it mean? The ABCDEFGH framework, that is agriculture, biology, compost, decentralized decision making, entrepreneurs, families, global markets and headstands, or turning current approaches. So these are the current approaches which have been taken up in the integrated economic model. I will tell you, in the integrated economic model. So the Food Vision 2020 prize, which has been awarded to the Nandi Foundation by the Rockefeller Foundation, which has been announced in New York, and the model which has been used is Arakunomics model under the framework called as ABCDEFGH framework. So these are all very important for prelims and also for the mains when you are writing in regards to the what model. So which model is that? So this is in regards to the, it is new integrated economic model. New integrated, this is again very important keyword, integrated economic model. So what model has been used? The model which has been used by Nandi Foundation is the Arakunomics. So what is Arakunomics? It is the new integrated economic model. This one, the new integrated economic model. Based on this new integrated economic model is based on what? It is based on A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H framework. This is very, very important for economy point of view. Economy point of view. And this Arakonomics is based on the work with tribal farmers. So the tribal farmers, the work they do in, especially in the Araku, they have been working, what kind of work the tribal farmers actually take up in the Araku Valley around 20 years. So the Nandi vision, what is the vision of Nandi? It is Arakonomics, that is the integrated economic model. What does this integrated economic model actually provides? That it provides that, yeah, or it ensures profits to farmers, it ensures profits to farmers and quality to customers, quality to consumers or customers, consumers, the one who consumes. So the integrated economic model, it ensures profits to the farmers and it also ensures quality to the consumers, and it is the new integrated economic model, that is Arakonomics, under the framework of ABCDEFGH framework. So this is very, very important. And this economic model is actually taken up in the coffee production, and this economic model is also launched in Paris in 2017, and this Nandi vision or Nandi foundation has been established in the year 1998 across 19 states in India. So this is very, very important in regards to the current affairs especially, and also that is in regards to the prices. Current affairs, why? Because price, what price is that? It is the price which we were talking about, the Food Vision 2050 price. And in regards to the economy, wherein we were talking about the Arakonomics, new integrated economic model, which is based on the ABCDEFGH framework. This new integrated economic model, it ensures profits for farmers and also quality to consumers. So these are all very, very important for prelims point of view. And the other news which we have is the RBI sets up panel for stretched loans resolutions norms. So we were talking about yesterday restructuring. I've used this word yesterday, restructuring of loans. So I said yesterday that the RBI has come up with the restructuring of loans, especially in regards to the corporates, large corporates, and also said that micro, small and medium enterprises and entrepreneurs. I said this. RBI has come up with this, and then RBI also has come up with individual borrowers of restructuring of loans also, wherein again banks, the national banks will have the final control of the restructuring of the loans. So why this? Because I said restructuring of the loans they will take up because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, as many of the large companies or micro, small and medium enterprises or entrepreneurs or individual borrowers are unable to go ahead with the repayment of the loans, so that they will, if they are unable to repay, as I said yesterday, they would be fall or they would be recognized as the defaulters, and later on they would be recognized as the non-performing assets. So to overcome as a defaulters and non-performing assets, they would restructure of loans for individuals. For individuals, it will be up to 2 years. Up to 2 years, I said. So the main intention is to make sure that the stretched loans, the main intention is because of the COVID-19, the loan repayment should not be a stretched loans. That is, that stretched loans, for to make sure that how the stretched loans can be handled. So there was a committee which has been set up to resolve the stretched loans. To resolve, that means to have a resolution. That means when we talk about the resolution, that means they would be having a rules and regulation for the resolution to overcome the stretched loans. so that these stressed loans will not make the large corporates, micro, small and medium enterprises or entrepreneurs or the individual borrowers to be as defaulters or non-performing assets. So thereby the resolution norms have been stressed, have been put forth to handle the stressed loans. Stressed loans, that means because of the national lockdown, because of the economic activity has been damaged, because of the economic activity has been damaged, the economy has been in crisis. As the economy is in crisis, so definitely there is economic slowdown. As there is economic slowdown, there is the GDP or else the revenue generation is also down. So for that, the RBI has set up a panel. So this is very important. What panel is that? This is expert committee. So I have given just the background. So for that, the RBI has set up a panel that is called as expert panel. So what this expert panel will look at or do, and it will go ahead with recommendation on norms. So this expert panel will go ahead with providing recommendations. It will provide recommendations. So recommendations in regards to what? As I said, in regards to the stressed loans. So why the stressed loans have come up? Because as I said, because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, the stressed loans have actually come into existence, and because of the stressed loans, we had to come up with a proper solution. For that, the RBI has set up the expert committee under the chairman of KV Kamath. Do anybody have any idea of this person, KV Kamath? Anyone? KV Kamath. Now he is the chairman of the expert committee, which goes ahead with framing the recommendations on norms for the resolutions of the COVID-19 stressed loans. Please do understand, COVID-19 stressed loans, and they will submit it within 30 days. That in that they will make it very clear that what are the financial parameters. They will go ahead with giving the recommendations of the financial parameters. Financial parameters. So these parameters, they will provide the they will recommend the financial parameters to the RBI. So I have asked to everyone, do you know about KV Kamath? I said KV Kamath is the one. KV Kamath is the one who is now the chairman for the expert panel, and the Indian Bank Association, IBA, Indian Bank Association will function as the secretariat. Will function as the secretariat for whom? For the expert panel. Expert panel. So these are all very, very important for the understanding. MP Madhu says MP, absolutely wrong. And this committee, that is the external panel committee, will have its own procedures. It will lay down its own procedures for its internal functioning, and all these have been, what do you say, given to the, I mean the procedures to lay down has been devised, or it has been given permission, or it has been empowered to go ahead with the internal functioning. So the IBA, Indian Banks Association, will be functioning as a secretariat to the expert panel, and they can set up their own procedures for the internal functioning, and they will go ahead with recommendation of the financial parameters to the RBI to overcome the stressed loans in regards to the COVID-19. ICICI Bank former CEO, who said this? New development. Oh, very good, super. Shravani, very nice. Very good. Shravani, New Development Bank Chairman. Absolutely good. Shivamurthy says ICICI Bank former CEO KV Kamath. Absolutely good. Absolutely good. Harika Yadav says is a former chairman of New Development Bank of BRICS. Absolutely good. So I am very happy that you all are in tandem, or you are definitely in tune with the what UPSC is. So this is what we need to focus. So here my keyword is no doubt expert committee. Along with that, the keyword is KV Kamath also. So why? Because he was the former CEO or the chairman of the ICICI Bank. Absolutely right. ICICI Bank. And then also in regards to the New Development Bank, NDB, New Development Bank. He was also the president or the chairman, president or chairman of NDB Bank, which is part of the BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. So what is NDB? It is New Development Bank. What was the need for NDB? So the need for NDB was the developing countries wanted, or they have set up the NDB. The developing countries have set up the NDB. Fine. Why they have set up the NDB? Because you have IMF, you have WB, World Bank, you have Asian Development Bank, you have International Monetary Fund, you have WB, World Bank, you have Asian Development Bank. So in spite of having the international financial institutions, why the need has come to set up the NDB is because the developing countries have felt that the IMF and WB have been providing loans or granting loans to the developed countries only, and the countries which have been already developed, the IMF and WB were providing loans to the developed countries, but not much of grants were being funded or been provided to the developing countries. So thereby the need or the arise of the new bank, that is the New Development Bank, has come up, so that this New Development Bank will make sure that they would be granting the funds to the infrastructure development in the countries of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So that is why it has come to the existence that they will come up with the new, that is the regional banking or regional financial institutions or banking. And D. Suvarna says he is also a member of the board of governor of Pandit Deen Dayal Petroleum University. Yes, absolutely, Suvarna. Suvarna, have you given an attempt once? Can I know? D. Suvarna, have you given an attempt once? So this is how you need to keep on focusing on the news. And NEP lays the foundation for a new India, says Modi. So definitely what is also important, that is that we will be focusing that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has attended. Okay, are you from integrated institutions? Have you done your, or have you pursued your graduation from integrated institutions in Hyderabad? D. Suvarna. So our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has addressed, where he has addressed in a conclave, which has spoken about, or which is in regards to the transformational reforms in higher education. So transformational reforms in higher education. This is the key phrase. This is a key phrase which you need to focus, because the national education policy which has come up, so there the prime minister is focusing on the transformational reforms. So he is focusing on the transformational reforms in the higher education. So it's a conclave. He has addressed on the transformational reforms on the higher education, and there he is talking about that it should. We need to shift. We need to shift from herd mentality. We need to shift from herd mentality to creative and innovative thinking. So, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has addressed in regards to the transformational reforms in higher education, and he has focused on that there has to be a shift from herd mentality. Herd is what? Herd means group. That means if an individual is there, if an X individual is there, that individual's mentality will be bounded by A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H people. That means whatever the group mentality is there, the X mentality also will be dominated by the mentality of the ABCD on the X, or else X will be following the mentality of the group, that is ABCDEFG. So that is what is important, that the Prime Minister is making it very clear that we need to have a shift from the herd mentality. Rather than that, the X has to start having or start thinking the creative and innovative thinking. So rather than the herd mentality and rote learning. What do you mean by rote learning? Rote is by heart. That means what we used to do when we were in school days, by heart. Okay, so this is very important. So look at it, all these are keywords. From rote learning and herd immunity, we need to, what our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said, that is that in New India, because of the National Education Policy 2020, it has laid the foundation for the new India for the 21st century. New India of the 21st century, and he has emphasized on shift from the rote learning and herd immunity to creative and innovative thinking. That is what he has made, and he has also emphasized on the mother tongue, because what is important is that mother tongue has been introduced for up to class 5th or 5th standard. So there would be a mother tongue, and what our Prime Minister states is this approach of having the mother tongue or medium of instruction of the mother tongue up to class 5 is necessary, because it makes them the global citizen, and this is the keyword which is very, very important. So the mother tongue, which is up to class 5, makes the individual as the global citizen. This is a keyword. Global citizen is a keyword, and it will be rooted in their culture. So by having the mother tongue, we will have the culture intact, and we will be recognized as the global citizen. And we need to shift our rote learning herd mentality towards the creative and innovative thinking, and also to the values of curiosity and imagination. And that is what the transformational reforms in higher education is, what our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has emphasized. And he has also made it very clear that the focus has to be, or else there has to be a shift, or we have to focus from what to think to how to think. These are all very, very important for what you say keywords while you are writing in your mains. So the focus, or else the advantage or the benefit of the National Education Policy 2020 provides that the focus would be now, rather than the rote learning and herd mentality, towards the creative and innovative thinking, and also from what to think to how to think. And we need to get into the modes of teaching. That means the teachers have to get into the mode of various teaching methodologies, and these various teaching methodologies should be based on inquiry. These are all again very, very important keywords which you can put it in your answer. It has to be in the mode of discovery. That means a kind of discovery mentality has to be imbibed into the students, and analysis. And this is very, very important. The modes of teaching has to be inquiry, discovery, and then analysis has to be part of, or which has to be, these have to be encouraged to the students in the classroom learning. Or in the classroom learning, the teacher has to get into the mode of teaching of the concepts, that is encouraging the inquiry or inquisitiveness from the students, discovery from the students, analysis from the students. And this is what is that it develops their own interest of the students. So that is what is important. And this NEP focuses on, it also focuses on, I just said this one, and the second one is it also focuses on employability. So definitely when we are saying we need to shift from the rote learning and herd mentality towards creative and imaginative, so it will definitely provide employability. And what is also they are focusing is on vocational education, wherein again there would be employment which will be created. So this is what the Prime Minister Narendra Modi was talking on the transformational reforms on higher education, on transformational reforms on higher education, because of the National Educational Policy 2020. So please do understand, there would be a question in the mains in general essay in regards to the education, and somehow I feel in regards to the higher education, and then early childhood education also, early childhood care education. So this is higher education or primary level, primary education. So please focus on the National Educational or National Educational Policy 2020 in regards to the higher education, reforms in the higher education, how the government has taken up, and what are the reforms even in the early childhood care education. Please do understand, reforms in higher education and reforms in early childhood care education. These are the two important keywords. Higher education and in regards to the early childhood care education. So before I get into the next topic, Parveen has joined. Very good morning to you, Parveen. Welcome to AKS Academy. D. Suvarna, why I have asked this is because definitely there was one of my student also by name Suvarna who has done a completed a graduation in Hyderabad. So I was thinking that it was you. So good that no doubt you have lost, but I would say definitely you will crack this time. Suvarna, you will crack, and all the others who are giving the attempt this time in the October 10, 2020, you will definitely clear. What is very important is be focused, you will clear, and be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. So you will definitely clear the prelims as well as mains examination. And all the best to Suvarna and everyone. And these are the areas which you need to focus while you are preparing for the UPSC. So the keyword here is, as we looked at, that is in regards to the transformational reforms in higher education, rote learning, new India of the 21st century, creative and imaginative or innovative thinking, having the values or promoting the values of curiosity and imagination, and the mother tongue. Because of the mother tongue, it will make the individual, the student, pupil as the global citizen. Please do understand, this is a very new keyword which our Prime Minister has used, this global citizens. Please do understand, global citizens. And then from what to think, focus from what to think to how to think. And the mode of teaching should be inquiry, discovery, and then in regards to analysis. And then our Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishant have said NEP will implement a mission mode, and now HRD has been changed to Education Ministry. Education Ministry. Education Ministry. So the Education Ministry, Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank has said the NEP would be implemented in a mission mode. So if we recapitulate it, so we have seen this Idukki one landslide, and then we have also focused in regards to Vande Bharat mission and Operation Setu Samudra. Fine, again, which is very important in regards to the prelims point of view. In regards to again Indian diaspora, getting Indian diaspora or expatriation, evacuating Indians from, and then again this is in regards to the current affairs and economy point of view. Naresh has joined, Santosh has joined, very good morning to you, welcome to AKS IAS Academy. And in regards to the, this is just repeated it, RBI sets panel, this is again in regards to the economy we have discussed. And the other one what we have also looked at is in regards to the flooding we have looked at. That is where we have looked at this flooding is in regards to the Ervikulam National Park we have looked at. And NEP, this is again in regards to the general essay for mains education. So this is how we are focused, and I hope this session was helpful, informative and knowledgeable to you in regards to the prelims as well as mains examination. So I would thank you, and then good luck to you, all of you, and all the best for your examinations. That is prelims and mains and also for the interview. And then before you sign off, please do like the video, share the video and subscribe the video, and then do visit the AKS IAS Academy website and also the Telegram link of AKS IAS, that is Advanced Knowledge System, wherein you will get further more notification once you subscribe the Telegram link and also visit the aksias.com website. And then see you again on Monday 7:30 a.m. Fine. And I would say once again that do stick to consistency, stick to your schedule, and then take care of your physical health and mental health. So see you again on Monday 7:30 a.m. and I would say thank you and good luck. And then good job. I do not know your name. Good job. But good job said. I am actually Telugu medium. When I am listening your classes, very interesting, sir. Thank you very much. Good job. I do not know your name. Thank you very much. And definitely my sessions or else the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis by me, that is by Sandeep Bhushan, will definitely help you all in regards to the prelims as well as mains examinations. I will definitely assure you that I can assure you 100% the daily news analysis at or at AKS IAS Academy YouTube channel will certainly help you. Yes, Ravani, today haven't taken the mains question for today. I will give it on Monday because almost I have covered. I've checked the editorials and the articles, but I could not find because it would be again repeating the same question. So that is why I haven't taken up. Okay, Janardhan Potula. Okay, thank you, Janardhan. Thank you very much, and then welcome to AKSIS Academy of YouTube channel also. And then I would say a very big thank you to everyone. Thank you all and all the best. See you on Monday, 7:30 a.m. Okay, Madhava says that please cover other newspapers. I feel Hindu newspaper. I mean, it's always good to follow one newspaper because almost Hindu covers maximum what UPSC would deal. And Mahesh says that Telugu medium PDF. I'm very sorry. I do not really have any knowledge in regards to the Telugu newspapers. I'm sorry, Mahesh. Yes, English, definitely Hindu newspaper. And I would thank everyone